Eastern Oregon, where crews are battling a major fire at a potato chip processing plant. Air 12 flew over the scene at Shearer's Foods on Highway 207 in Hermiston.
Breaking news out of Pasco County. Crews battling a huge fire at a chicken farm. It's all happening on Cow Main Foods along Simpson Farm Lane in Dade City.
We continue to follow that breaking news from Sutter County. A massive fire still burning right now destroyed a historic walnut factory in Live Oak. And as of right now, it shut down a portion of Highway 99 that remains closed.
In Maine, people living near a burnt out potato processing plant were urged to stay in their homes and close their windows. The Penobscot Micram plant in Belfast, Maine, caught fire early this morning.
A Minnesota egg producer is evaluating the damage left behind from this massive fire. It happened late last night in Howard Lake, straight west of the cities on Highway 12.
Explosions rocked a Lackawanna County business after it caught fire this evening.
Yeah, crews were at the Made Right Steak Company for hours tonight, finally putting out the flames that were involved in that building.
Firefighters trying to figure out what sparked a fire at a food processing plant.
And as we mentioned earlier, we do have an update on a story that we reported on earlier today. Firefighters over on the count have finally gone home after working to put out a fire for over 12 hours today.
10, the heart of the community is left to rebuild tonight after this massive fire. 40,000 pounds of food meant to feed people in a food desert near Maricopa, south of the valley, is completely gone. And tonight, investigators are still trying to figure out what caused the fire.
After the Live News Desk, we have a breaking situation going on just to our south. This is in Salinas, a huge fire at a food processing plant. This is for Taylor Farms. And right now there are concerns about a huge plume of ammonia coming from this area. And they have an evacuation in the immediate area as well as a shelter in place all the way out to Highway 68.
Now, a large fire damaged a plant southeast of Moses Lake, just south of Interstate 90. Last night, firefighters worked for hours to contain a major fire inside. Photos showed just how big the fire was. Well, today, investigators are on scene investigating what started the fire. Krem 2's Amanda Rowley traveled to the scene today and shares what details we now know.
Behind me is basic American food. Right now, the Grant County Fire Marshal is investigating what caused this fire.
We start today with an update on a plane crash in Hayburn in south central Idaho. Hayburn police say the pilot died when his small airplane crashed into a processing plant.
You just heard that call for help from a 911 dispatcher after a plane crashed near the General Mills plant in Newton County.
Several buildings at a New Mexico peanut plant are a total loss as the fire continues to burn there more than a week after the fire started. Fire started at Hampton Farms in Portales last Monday, forcing the evacuation of the plant. Portales Fire says the blaze started outside the building and was contained within a few hours, but flared up again the next morning.
Was contained within a few hours, but flared up again the next morning.
It's saying the department is allowing the remainder of products inside the warehouses to burn.
Now our Verified team is looking into claims about fires after several U.S. food processing plants went up in flames in recent months.
Food processing plants across the U.S. have several people speculating online if something else is behind them.
We've been seeing a lot of these sorts of posts circulating on social media these past few days. In it, they claim that there has been an increase in fires at food processing plants in the U.S. in order to starve the population. And even politicians have gotten involved, such as Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, that insinuated on Twitter that maybe these fires were not accidental after all.
Coincidence? I think not.
Food processing plant fires and poultry culling, saying that while the whole list is true, it's absolutely not intentional. These fires were not set intentionally. There's no evidence. Really, you guys are just mean conspiracy theorists spreading dangerous conspiracies on the internet. And the same people who brought down strong nations and empires of the past would never starve millions of people to death to get control over a country. Never.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Unrestricted. I'm your host, Peter, and today we're spilling the tea on some seriously shady stuff happening in the world of farming. You've probably heard about those mysterious fires at farming factories around the globe, right? Things are a bit too hot. Let's dive in. So guys like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and others are on a shopping spree, buying thousands of acres of farmland. Gates alone has become one of the largest private owners of farmland in the United States. But here's the kicker. While they push for everyone to eat synthetic meat, vegan Impossible Burger, synthetic eggs, you name it, because it's better for the planet and the environment, rumors has it they're still enjoying the real deal. Double standard seems to be the motto here. Do as I say, not as I eat. No pun intended. Now, onto the fires. It seems like every other day, there's news about fire at some food processing plant or chicken farm, wiping out millions of animals in a blink of an eye. These aren't just small blazes. They are massive, devastating events. These are like the death by 1,000 cut. You don't realize until it's too late already. While some call it bad luck, other whispers about something more orchestrated. Could it be a way to tighten the grip on food supplies or push us towards those lab-grown dinners? These are things that make you go, And let's talk about the synthetic food push. The big guns are investing heavily in lab-grown food technologies. They say it's to save the environment, but isn't it also convenient that this opens up a whole brand new lucrative market for them? Meanwhile, these billionaires continue to enjoy their farm-to-table feasts. Seems a bit like the rules are for thee but not for me. So what's the real play here? Are these just coincidental events, or are we looking at a major overhaul of the food industry, masterminded by those who would profit the most? As these guys snatch up more farmland and factory fires continue to rage, one has to wonder about the future of our food. What do you think, guys? We've been hearing about all the farmers' crises and issues all over the world. In recent years, Europe has been hit by some of the worst droughts in decades. Countries like France, Italy, and Spain are particularly feeling the heat. These droughts are not just about a lack of rain, they're also about how water is managed and used. American farmers are dealing with more than just unpredictable weather. There's this buzz about big names like Bill Gates buying up huge chunks of farmlands. What's the deal, Bill? Are you just into farming, or is there something more to it? Plus, there's been a string of mysterious fire wiping out millions of chicken and farm factory processing and farm animals. Coincidence?
Coincidence? I think not!
In the UK, for example, Brexit's messing with trade and market access, and with environmental rules getting stricter, some folks are whispering about the hidden agenda to push small farmers out. Things are getting dry in Europe. Countries like France, Italy, Spain, and more are facing their worst droughts in decades. Countries like Germany and Poland, farmers' protests are spreading like wildfire across the European Union. In Germany, farmers are up in arms about cuts in diesel subsidies, while in Poland, it is all about debt and cheap import from Ukraine. But let's not forget about the suspicious timing of these protests. French farmers aren't just battling the elements, they're also fighting against free trade deals and environmental rules that seem designed to cut into their profits. Some say it's all part of the plan to weaken the national sovereignty. Farmers in Italy are facing a double whammy, with a 64% drop in snowfall and water levels in major lakes hitting record lows. But here's the thought. Is this natural, or are we seeing the effect of geoengineering? Down in southern Portugal and Spain, water availability could drop up to 40% by 2050. With early heat waves and droughts becoming the norm, some folks are starting to wonder if this is all part of a bigger agenda to control food supplies. Even Greece is on alert for drought conditions, along with Bulgaria and Romania, and with the Nordic countries showing signs of water stress. So there you have it, folks. From water wars to mysterious fires, it seems like there is more to these farming fires than meets the eye. What do you think? Is it all just a series of unfortunate events, or are we looking at a globalist plot to control our food and water? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time.